Good morning. It is Christmas Eve. All right, the day before Christmas Eve. A lot of folks already hitting the roads. You might be tuning in to find out what's happening in Hampton Roads from another part of the country. We're so glad you found us here on the Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. It is a pleasure to be here with you for the next half hour. I broadcast from the 13 News Now studio serving Southeast Virginia and Northeast North Carolina. But if you've ever caught the Weather Desk before, maybe you watch us here on YouTube. We love to have you here as well. The thing about the Weather Desk, it doesn't just serve Hampton Roads in Northeast North Carolina. We talk about big weather stories around the country and around the world, sometimes space and space weather, climate. We get into all of these topics from time to time. Today, we do have an international story coming up, but we're going to start with a major story that has been ongoing for weeks now, and that is all of the damage out west due to the atmospheric river bringing more deep moisture to the west coast of the United States. And we're focusing this morning on storm damage and an update specifically from Oregon. We'll show you what's going on there. Dangerous flooding in California, that's coming. We had a fatality near Redding. We talked about that earlier, but there's a potential for more extensive flooding down in Southern California as we get into Christmas Eve. So I expect very wet conditions for parts of California on Wednesday. We'll show you the excessive rainfall outlooks, spend some more time talking about that. So those are big stories again from the West Coast related to the atmospheric river. Then we've got some other things going on out west. A kablooey. Have you ever heard that term, kablooey? All right, geologists use that to describe a muddy explosion. There was a kablooey in Yellowstone. If you haven't seen the video, we'll show you that coming up. And a massive Wyoming avalanche, as you'll see near Teton Pass, part of the interstate covered up. We'll let you know about what's going on out there with that massive avalanche. They knew that it was in danger of going, and again, they're just working to clear that so they can open up the interstates. That travel impacts folks trying to get around, maybe do some holiday travel out that way. You've got, a large stretch of interstate buried in 30 feet of heavy, wet snow. Obviously, that is a huge issue. So we'll show you what's going on out there. Then we're going to talk about a story from overseas, a massive sinkhole over in England, and there were some rescues from the sinkhole. I'll explain how all that played out. You'll see that. And we've got the Christmas holiday outlook, some more travel weather across the country, not just here in Hampton Roads, but I'll have you covered if you've got other plans to head out to other parts of the country. We'll let you know what to expect as we go through the week. Let's start off, though, by talking about all of the wet weather back across the Northwest. I'll mention we do have some snow here, and we'll talk about travel impacts from Pennsylvania up into New York State. Rain showers here in Hampton Roads hasn't been a real big deal, but we'll get into that as well. Showers are going to be winding down here in our local markets, Southeast Virginia, Northeast North Carolina, over the next hour and a half to, say, 2 hours, and then things will be much improved later in the day, clearing. But it's been the Northwest that has seen so much trouble with all of the moisture coming in. You can see as we look over the last 24 hours how the rain moved in late yesterday across Portland, and the rain continues as we go through the early morning. Although it is starting to wind down a little bit, we still have those showers out there. More rain for California. We'll address that in a minute. But we do want to talk to you about what's going on in Oregon. Keep in mind, thousands of people are still recovering from extreme flooding. Now, officials say more than 45 homes suffered minor damage, but more than 15 had major or extensive damage. And you can see there is still plenty of standing water and mud to deal with. Some of the homes are missing roofs and doors. You can also see the debris is really piled up out there. So that's what's going on in Oregon. Not the way they wanted to spend their days leading up to Christmas, trying to clear all of this storm debris. Really tough situation. Now we take a look at Oregon, and again, looking down to the south, we've got more rain again across parts of Northern California. The Redding area hit with extensive rainfall there, and there's going to be more rain down to the south. This severe weather that they've been dealing with, all of this moisture, has been streaming in from the Pacific, and it continues to wreak havoc in parts of California. Remember, at least one person died after flash flooding overwhelmed Redding earlier this week. And now other parts of the Golden State, including Los Angeles County, are facing major flood threats. Here's John Lawrence. He reports.
California is getting clobbered again.
The weather has just been a little unpredictable. We're getting more rain up in this elevation than I'm kind of used to.
Roughly a month's worth of rain fell in Redding this weekend.
It's pretty bad. We're a little bit nervous about even trying to go over with a big hole.
And now an atmospheric river, which is exactly what it sounds like, is bringing more downpours throughout California this week.
Snow will be measured in feet across the Sierra Nevada mountain ranges, but the rain measured in several inches across Southern California. The flood threat is real. Now is the time to prepare.
Evacuation warnings are in effect Tuesday for areas with burn scars from recent wildfires. Meanwhile, state and local officials are reminding residents to be extra cautious while behind the wheel.
Those flooded posted signs are to warn residents that road is flooded. It's technically not closed, but we definitely don't advise people to go through those roads.
Much of Central California is under a flood watch until Friday, and the National Weather Service expects up to 5 inches of rain across the northern Sierra by midweek.
We know that we're expecting a lot of rain and some wind, but we've weathered these storms in the past, so we're just doing everything we can to be ready.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
You think about that, 5 inches of rain with a 10-to-1 ratio, just as a ballpark. And a lot of times it's more like 15-to-1 or even more than that. That could really produce some very heavy snow over the Sierra Mountains. So we'll continue to watch that as well. Coming back to California, again, we've been hearing these stories coming out with the extensive rainfall. Redding picking up basically a month's worth of rain. You think about that. As we take a look down to the south, we're going to show you the outlook for California. So from Redding down through San Francisco, we have this level 2 threat of extensive rain. So we're getting it. We're going to continue to see it. And even down through LA today, there is that level 2. So we're going to continue to watch for more of that rain, but it gets even worse tomorrow. And I want to take a look at that. As we take a look at the radar, you'll notice more rain coming into the northern part of California. A little breakdown there for now, but that is going to change. So what we're going to find across the area, the outlook for tomorrow, we get into not just a level 2, but or level 3 rather in red, but a level 4, which is an extreme flood potential for the Los Angeles area. So let's take a closer look at that. And you can see some of the areas here from east of LA all the way up through Santa Barbara. I want to show you some of the towns, some of the communities here around Los Angeles. You can see from Big Bear Lake back down through San Bernardino, Crestline. You can see Wrightwood back over to Glendora, Cedar Springs, Pasadena, Hidden Springs, all of these areas with this extreme or level 4 flood potential or excessive rainfall potential. That extends through Santa Clarita, Thousand Oaks, Santa Paula, and as I mentioned, very close to Santa Barbara as well. A dangerous situation, and again, this is for Wednesday. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that. And keep in mind, they've been dealing with not only the heavy rain, but the heavy rain falling over the potential areas that were so damaged by the wildfires and those burn scars. That can even exacerbate the heavy flood runoff that you would typically see, making it even worse. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that. We're going to turn our attention to Wyoming for a couple of stories, and specifically, let's zoom in to the northwest part of Wyoming, Yellowstone Park here, the Tetons, Jackson and Jackson Hole. phenomenal country, beautiful areas, wonderful skiing, but too much snow can be a bit of a problem. We'll talk about that in a moment. Right now, though, I want to key in on that kablooey we were talking about. This took place in Yellowstone Park, and that kablooey, which is how the U.S. Geological Survey scientists describe a muddy eruption at Yellowstone's Black Diamond Pool. This happened Saturday morning. All right, video shows us. Watch. You'll see the mud blasting from the pool in Biscuit Basin just before 9:30 in the morning, an area closed since 2024. It was a hydrothermal explosion. The USGS says similar dirty eruptions have continued sporadically, reaching up to 40 feet high. So not only do you have those beautiful geysers, which will shoot, this steaming water up into the air, and it kind of throws it up there. With a kablooey, it's picking up mud and all kinds of garbage and throwing it up there. So some massive sporadic kablooies out there in Yellowstone. All right, so in addition to this area we were just talking about, let's take you down. And again, you see Teton Village here, Jackson, Wyoming. There's a pass out here, Teton Pass, just out to the west of that. And as we take a look, Teton Pass in Wyoming was shut down Monday while YDOT crews deliberately triggered a massive avalanche. That avalanche buried more than 500 feet of Highway 22 under up to 30 feet of heavy, wet snow. You take a look at this. They've got the heavy machinery out there working. Officials say the preemptive closure prevented a potentially deadly slide during the morning commute. With help from Idaho transportation crews and bulldozers, the pass is set to reopen this evening, and hopefully they'll get that taken care of. It's one of those things, again, and I was out in Salt Lake City, worked out there for 3 years with the CBS affiliate KUTV. We would go up into the mountains, and they would have their controlled kind of avalanche control explosions to bring down some of the snow. So the folks out there paying close attention to the snow, the layers of snow, how they form, they can determine whether or not it is primed for avalanche, and then they take some of that heavy, wet snow down before it naturally comes down and can be fatal or deadly, obviously, if motorists get caught in that. But that was preempted. They closed down the highway, took it down. Now they're clearing it. Hopefully they'll get it open because a lot of folks want to obviously get to their holiday destinations. All right, we're going to go ahead and take you across the pond, and this time we're going to northern England. All right, UK police have declared a major incident after a massive sinkhole opened beneath a canal in northern England. Now, that sinkhole caused water to drain, leaving boats stranded. No injuries were reported, but about a dozen people were evacuated from boats nearby. You can see those vessels trapped as emergency crews tried to help. And that's something. All right. Well, we're going to take a short break, just 2 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some important travel safety tips. And we're going to talk about the overall holiday travel outlook, not just for Hampton Roads in the Mid-Atlantic, but we'll look all across the country. That's coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. I mentioned it earlier, this being Christmas Eve. Just 2 days left until Christmas. A lot of folks are going to be traveling to get to their holiday destinations. Maybe you're hosting folks from other parts of the country. We're going to get into the travel. But one thing you may have been noticing recently, we've had some really cold temperatures in December and some pretty extreme cold snaps. While the temperatures are getting a little bit milder right here in Hampton Roads, when those temperatures drop, you may notice your tire pressure is getting lower, and in some cases, that tire pressure may be too low. Here's meteorologist Taylor Stephenson with more.
Now that we've entered the winter season, the typically cooler weather can cause some temporary car issues. One frequent issue is seemingly flat tires. Air is made up of tiny molecules that move faster when they're warm and slower when they're cold. When the temperatures drop, those molecules slow down and take up less space. As a result, there is less pressure pushing against the inside of your tire. For every 10-degree drop in temperature, the tire pressure can fall by 1 to 2 pounds per square inch. Here's what you can do if you experience this type of underinflated tire. Check your tire pressure routinely throughout your trip and throughout the winter season. Also, try not to overinflate your tire when pumping it with air. When you start driving, the friction between the road and the tire heats up the air inside the tire and can cause the tire's air to expand again. For 13 News Now, I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson.
All right, some great information there, Taylor. Thank you so much. We're going to take a look at the snow coverage. About 19% of the country covered with snow. The Northeast U.S., not as much as we've seen over the last day or so. Still widespread coverage. Some areas we're seeing a little bit of melting and some rain bringing it down. But more snow is falling as we speak across portions of Pennsylvania up into New York State. And there will be additional amounts of snow added to this region as we go over the next 24 to 48 hours. You can see across the upper tier of the U.S. from the upper peninsula of Michigan, portions of the lower peninsula as well, back across northern Wisconsin and Minnesota, some significant snow on the ground. And we still have some pockets down through Iowa, northern portions of Illinois, into the Dakotas as well. Out to the west, more heavy snow over parts of the Rockies. You can see that here in the Rockies. Back up, I mentioned those areas where they had that controlled avalanche there, and they brought down the snow over Teton Pass. Very heavy snow, Jackson Hole back up through Yellowstone, and then we've got some more snow back across Idaho up into Montana for Washington and Oregon, and then again the Sierras in California. A lot of snow out that way. Want to talk to you about what's going on with our travel today. If you have travel plans and you're headed out, maybe you're going to go down to Orlando, 79. Partly cloudy. Atlanta, 68, a nice day down there. Great destination. Philly, cooler, 40 and cloudy. And in New York, rain-snow mix there around the Big Apple, 37 degrees. We'll take a look at Chicago, 48, and Dallas, 79. Feeling pretty warm down there around Dallas. All right, as we take a look at the travel delays, and I'm going to go ahead and manipulate this map a little bit. I mentioned the chances for delays. Take a look at the Northeast U.S., okay? This area here, some moderate delays due to snow back across portions of Pennsylvania and New York State. That is going to spread to the east. Again, minor delays maybe across the northern tier, and then we've got that snow flying back across parts of the Northwest as well. Notice Southern California not looking too bad right now. When you add in the rain threats, you have some more impacts for the Northwest. Now, as we come back into this, we'll take a look going into the midday Tuesday and then even late Tuesday. You can see rain starting to show up along the California coast. Some minor potential impacts. This here in Kansas, kind of interesting. That's due to fog, largely. Wichita to areas just west of Kansas, Kansas City there. So that's what's going on. I'll bring it back to all of the different impacts. And there you see in the Northeast, this is late today. If you're traveling to upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine, there could be some moderate to even major delays. Looks like most of the major metropolitan areas, Boston, maybe some minor issues, but New York looking pretty good. Philly, New Jersey there, obviously, and then back down through D.C. and Baltimore, all in pretty good shape. Traveling to the south later today, also looking good here in the mid-Atlantic. We'll go forward to early Wednesday, and I'm going to pull back out so you can get a look at both coasts. Still unsettled up in the northeast. Again, you're looking at snow being the issue there. Notice the heavy snow impacting things in the Sierras, back in California as well. But rain becomes the bigger issue for the California coast. As we zoom in, I mentioned the potential for flooding and major travel issues as we go through the day on Wednesday. So if you've got travel plans out to the West Coast, specifically California, whether it's San Francisco, LA, maybe you're going to Tahoe, some of those areas, if you are able to do that, you're going to find potentially impacts there, and again, more in the northeast. Notice the central part of the mid-Atlantic down through the southeast U.S. all looking good. Upper Midwest looking pretty good as well. That's early Wednesday. Midday Wednesday, still looking at areas of fog back across Kansas. Visibility issues there. Heavy rain for Southern California, and then that spreads a little bit farther to the east into southern parts of Nevada. That would come late on Wednesday. I want to give you some travel cities, so let's start off with a look at what's going on here today. We're in good shape, but for your Wednesday, it's going to be warmer, upper 60s to low 70s around Raleigh and Durham. Warmer in Atlanta. New York City enjoying some sunshine. Still windy up in Boston tomorrow as a storm system exits. Cleveland, chilly. Orlando, beautiful. Maybe a little bit of fog down around New Orleans early in the morning tomorrow. Wednesday, we're looking at cloudy conditions, maybe some spotty snow showers up around Minneapolis, Chicago at 43. St. Louis warmer. You see the heat building down across the south central U.S. Rain, the big concern, as I mentioned, for L.A., San Francisco, even Vegas, dealing with the rain, and maybe some showers around Phoenix. Seattle also still dealing with the wet weather. Here's your Christmas Day forecast. Temperatures up around Cleveland and New York, cooler Boston, partly cloudy and 39. It's got to be warm in Raleigh, Atlanta, Orlando. Still very comfortable in New Orleans. Temperatures really warm for Christmas Day. Upper 60s to low 70s in St. Louis. You'll note there is much colder weather. Chicago up to Minneapolis. You see the warmer weather down across Texas. More trouble potentially L.A. through San Francisco. The rain continues to stream into that part of the country. As we look ahead to Friday, this is another big travel day. AAA projects that's going to be one of the busiest travel days after Christmas as folks try to come back by the weekend and kind of get back into their routines. Some snow potentially around New York City, maybe some freezing rain in Cleveland. That's that symbol there. So we'll be watching for that. 52 in Raleigh, 73 in Atlanta. Nicer down in New Orleans, aside from a few morning showers. Things will be improving across the central U.S. Big warm up, St. Louis and Little Rock. More unsettled weather out west. They're just not getting a break. So again, that will continue to be a big deal. We will watch that. As we go forward, you can see how things do improve today for travel, and Wednesday looking really good as well. We will see a chance for a few sprinkles as we go early Thursday, Christmas morning, but those will move out, and then we'll see improvements later on. Wanted to show you again that unsettled weather out west. We've got another storm system coming through late Friday, a chance for showers into early Saturday. That'll move out. Saturday looks pretty good. Sunday also looking good. But late Sunday night into early Monday, we get a front pushing through, and that opens the door for much colder weather for the mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast into early next week. Here's a look at yesterday's number, 44. That was the high. Normally we're at 53. We are 5.89 inches below average. We've got the rain chances winding down this morning, clearing through the afternoon. Rainfall's going to be light, maybe an additional 500 of an inch or so, but the rain's really winding down. That GFS number has been lowering and should be a little bit lower than what you see there. Those are 5 different models and their projections. Upper 30s to near 40 across the region. Again, it's been all rain. We don't have to worry about snow or ice or anything like that. Few raindrops still left over on the camera lens, but it is cloudy as we check in with the Thompson Creek Window Company. That's from the Chamberlain. 40 at the airport. Winds are south-southwest at 14 miles per hour. We do have a small craft advisory that'll be up from 10 a.m. through the afternoon on the Chesapeake Bay. A little rough out there, a little windy, so small craft, you'll want to stay in port. The rain showers are pushing through and will be exiting pretty quickly here. As you can see, the winds coming up from the south and the southwest, driving our temperatures up. We do have a frontal boundary well to the north, but again, it's much warmer for this part of the country, as I just showed you. Now, as we get into the forecast for our area, once these showers move out, the back edge already pushing through the western parts of our area, passing I-95, we are going to see some clearing. And that means it's going to get really nice through the afternoon. And with that, temperatures are going to jump up into the mid-50s, upper 50s for some inland areas. Heading into the evening, partly cloudy to mainly clear. It will become mainly clear overnight. And I expect a lot of sunshine for us tomorrow. Gorgeous across the area. Temperatures still generally in the 50s. And we're going to head into Christmas with some more clouds. There is a chance for a few showers Christmas morning. You don't see much there through 4 o'clock. Looks like Santa's going to have pretty good flying weather overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. But there may be a few showers after sunrise early on Thursday, Christmas morning. Temperatures today in the mid-50s, maybe mid to upper 50s for downtown and some of the inland areas. We are going to see a lot of sunshine this afternoon. You see those rain symbols across the south side. That's the last of the showers wrapping up this morning. Those showers also winding down along the eastern shore around Matthews and Gloucester. Look for clearing skies up on the peninsula and down to the south. We're also going to see a lot of sunshine as we go through the majority of the day. So it's been a wet morning. I know it's still wet out there right now, but later today, I recommend you take your sunglasses. You will definitely want them. Tonight's lows down around 45, mainly clear, not as cool. And we're going to see temperatures tomorrow back up to 55. These highs pretty close to average. Again, 53 is the normal high for this time of year. Take a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast. We'll be around 56 on Christmas. Again, some morning rain showers possible. We'll enjoy drier conditions late Thursday into early Friday. Late Friday, some more showers possible into early Saturday with another quick moving system. And then late Sunday with a cold front coming through, that will be a possibility. I think by early Monday, we'll see clearing skies, breezy, and much colder with highs back in the low 40s for Monday. Let me remind you, you can always take our forecast with you when you scan that QR code and download the 13 News Now mobile app. You know, we've been doing this show now for over a year. It's been about 14, 15 months. Our audience has grown tremendously, and we have a lot of folks tuning in from all over the region and across the country. I think a few folks from even other parts of the world checking back in with us here on the Weather Desk. Tell your friends about us. We do this each and every weekday morning starting at 9 o'clock. Now, a quick programming note. We will not be doing it for the holidays tomorrow and Christmas Day. I will be back on Friday morning at 9 a.m. with our next edition of the Weather Desk. So right now, from all of our family here at 13 News Now, I'm going to wish you and yours the happiest of holidays. And again, we'll see you Friday morning back here from the Weather Desk.